Second International Meeting on Interdisciplinary Climate Change. Caraguatá Institute, with the support of University of Caldas, Colombia, and the sponsorship of Petrobras, thank to all participants of the Second International Meeting on Climate Change, which made this event an interdisciplinary milestone. With vast information material on the subject and diagnostics that already happened, and predictions about what will happen, the Caraguatá Institute focus its next activities helping to lead public policies that may reduce the effects of these natural phenomena that scientists and researchers claim with unanimity. The effects of climate change are already happening, and the consensus is unanimous among researchers and scientists who participated in the Second International Interdisciplinary Meeting on Climate Change, which was held the 23rd of September 2011 at the State Park of Serra do Mar in Caraguatatuba on the north coast of São Paulo. Global warming is a real fact, and it will gradually change the way of life of people who live in the different regions, the coasts, the Andes, the polar caps and islands. These communities already feel the natural effects, such as rising oceans, the Andes and polar caps, and the loss of land to the seas. The big challenge to face these problems is to create public policies directed to the effects of these natural phenomena in order to cause least impact on people's lives. The proposal of the Second International Meeting on Climate Change was to bring interdisciplinary opportunities to spread ideas and projects carried out by the scientific community led by institutions specialized on high-level education, to make aware the general public about climate change, to strengthen institutional academic ties, and to promote an awareness of public policies in the social and environmental subject. But the major focus of this institute was to prepare a questionnaire in a simple, uniform and objective language to be applied throughout the Brazilian territory to evaluate the knowledge of the general public regarding climate change and its effects. This event collaborated by opening a discussion among scholars, students, civil society and the environmentalists. As Pedro dos Santos Raimundo, the Caraguatá Institute's president, spoke, it is a guarantee of success and commitment of everyone for future actions to come. The effort of all researchers who attended the invitation to this meeting, said Raimundo.
Agradecer nuevamente la presencia de todos.
Agradecer nuevamente la presencia de todos ustedes.
Y como tenemos un buen trabajo.
Y con seguridad que vamos a hacer un buen trabajo.
And during the 3-day talks, there were recent subjects directly linked to the effects mentioned above, like Dr. Diana Correa's lecture from Colombia, who made a diagnosis about the traditional communities of Latin America. Dr. José Carlos Monzó Jiménez from Spain, who spoke about mining areas recovery in Pinoso, Spain. Such work should be applied in the extraction of gravel barriers on the north coast of São Paulo, which was detailed by Dr. Claudio José Ferreira, scientific researcher of the Geological Institute of the State of São Paulo. Talking about coastal regions, Célia Regina de Gouveia Souza, geologist of the Institute of Geosciences of the University of São Paulo, made an updated outlook that has been happening with the movement of the oceans toward the coastal towns of São Paulo. It was complemented by researcher Vasiliki Terezinha Galvão Bolomitis from Brazil, speaking about the subject, the relation of urbanization with the macro drainage of the Juqueriquara River, which is a current topic being discussed in Caraguatatuba with a new long-term strategic plan and population growth. Kleber Ribeiro de Carvalho, second lieutenant of the military fireman force of the Serra do Rola Moza Park in the state of Minas Gerais, gave a lecture with the subject Combating Forest Fires and Mitigation of Carbon Dioxide. They are able to drastically reduce fires in conservation areas by reducing the carbon dioxide emission. The Environmental Police Department of the state of São Paulo in Brazil represented by First Lieutenant Alison Fagasa de Almeida, emphasized on the government's commitment to invest in technologies which increase the force to fight against deforestation and control of environmental crimes. Carlos Sachi Neto, director of the state park, focused his presentation on the installations of the conservation unit of the park Serra do Mar Caraguatatuba Center. He talked about the importance of these environmental reserves. About the melting of polar ice caps, the Andes and Patagonia, we had a detailed presentation on what has been happening in these regions over the past few decades. It was presented by Dr. Rodolfo Javier Viturraspi with the lecture Climate Science at Glaciers of Tierra del Fuego, which was complemented by Dr. Adriana Urciolo with the topic Peatlands of Tierra del Fuego and Climate Change in the region of Ushuaia, Argentina. About agriculture, Dr. Victor Mares from Peru presented his lecture talking of agricultural production for sustainable food security, which is his current research related to effects of climate change on production systems and the integration of agriculture and livestock activities to increase the resilience of agricultural systems. Researcher Sandra Regina dos Santos from Ribeirão Preto, São Paulo, spoke about monoculture of sugar cane and the effects of the climate change in the region. Then, the business administrator, Dr. Henry Ocampo Aristizabal from Colombia, held his lecture about BANKOFTIERRAS de Colombia, Bank of Lands of Colombia, which offers acres of lands for reforestation with trees in order to protect the flora and the fauna of our planet. And the geologist Rubens Diaz read his article about global warming. With the information obtained during the 3 days of conferences, Institute Caraguatá, with support of University of Caldas, Colombia, and the sponsorship of Petrobras, Brazil, reached the proposed objective at the beginning. A high-level discussion of relevant topics gave as result the elaboration of a questionnaire filled of information from several regions of the world, to be applied in Brazil as well in other countries that are going to receive the upcoming interdisciplinary international meetings on climate change. This event represents a milestone for the Caraguatá Institute that, since its creation, has proposed environmental discussions at a high level, seeking to educate the population to understand that the environment must be seen as an ally for sustainable development. And moreover, the environmental education linked to respect of nature. It will be the only way as the man could live in balance with the planet and ensure a worthy life for future generations.